know that you have said in previous discussions and previous interviews that you think the profession of architecture, the field, has really, in a way, failed us. That it is, I think you even used the word crisis, that it is in crisis because it doesn't really address human needs enough. There's a lot of focus on beautiful buildings, beautiful sculptures, not enough on how the buildings are used. Could you elaborate on that for us a little bit?
Well, those of us who went through design school in the 60s, 70s, and 80s were very highly influenced by form makers. There were opportunities to begin to create new kinds of forms. And that came to dominate a lot of design education. And then we entered a period where it became obvious that we needed to deal more with environmental issues. Sustainability, energy use, and the like. But even that dealt more with large-scale issues rather than the human-scale issues that architecture really needs to deal with at this moment. We live in a world where refugees and displacees and people who don't have access to affordable housing and children and elderly individuals really are the kinds of clients we need to be thinking about to a much greater extent than we have over the past half century. There's no question but that students have been in the forefront of pushing the profession to be much more sensitive to individual needs and to environmental concerns. The real issues that students have raised have been around human habitation, around health and well-being, around access, around affordability, and around who's really getting to use the projects that are being developed at this point.
Can you think of any examples in Boston of projects that have taken this to heart, either the environmental or the social needs of our community in new projects?
Certainly the bowling building located in Dudley Square is a breakthrough public building because there was an understanding from the outset that it would be a facility that needed to fit into a context. It needed to relate to transportation access. It was going to be a school department headquarters, and therefore it had to be a building that would accommodate the needs of children and other people in the community. It had to be responsive to individuals and to larger community needs. I've
presented a kind of dichotomy earlier between design excellence or a focus on the physical object of a building and design that responds to human needs. But I'm wondering if we can't reconcile these two. You know, can't we have both design excellence, beautiful physical structures that also respond to the needs of communities? And tell me more about that.
A building responds to its site not only in terms of how tall it is, but how it is configured, what it does at the level of the streetscape, how it attracts people during periods of bad weather. There are opportunities that are now available to us because of technology and demographic data, and a vision of what we want the experience of the city to be in 2030 and beyond.
So what do you think then is the role of the BSA and the BSA Foundation in achieving these goals?
Well, you know, the BSA is distinctive as among American Institute of Architecture components in the country because the BSA has always made a point of engaging a wider range of individuals in open and public and transparent discussion of what makes a place better. The BSA has always raised questions of housing affordability or waterfront access or energy use or what should happen with the harbor islands. And the BSA and its foundation have always engaged a wider public in a discourse about what the experience of the city should be into the future. I've been happy to be a part of that over the years. I've contributed in ways that I can, but more importantly, I've enjoyed working with designers and architects to engage the public in discourse about how Boston can be a better place in which to work and live and play.